different from the way they are here in Oxford. My wife and I have struggled all our lives, but we've never forgotten our dreams. We want our girls to have a better life than we've had. Mr. Faulkner could feel Ernie's passion for learning and saw the determination in his eyes. "Mr. McEwen," he asked, "do you have a college in mind?" "Oh, yes, sir," Ernie said. "Alcorn. It's a long way from here, over 200 miles. But I've heard it's a wonderful school that provides a solid education for blacks." "Excellent choice, Mr. McEwen. If I may, I'd like to help you with your dream." Ernie couldn't believe his ears. At first, he was overjoyed. But after a long silence, he slowly shook his head. "I want to go to college more than anything in the world, but I can't accept your generous offer. I just don't see how I'd ever be able to pay you back." With a twinkle in his eye, Mr. Faulkner smiled. "I don't expect you to pay me back. I'm just glad I can help you and your family." "But, sir, how can I ever thank you?" The famous author reached out to shake Ernie's hand. "Mr. McEwen, the only thing I would ask is that when someone else needs a kindness, you pass it on." Before leaving Roanoke, Ernie stopped at the edge of the woods and knelt on the cool grass beside an old magnolia tree. With tears flowing down his cheeks, he said a prayer of gratitude for his family, Dr. Guess, Dr. Love, and William Faulkner. With each step on the long walk home, Mr. Faulkner's words echoed in Ernie's mind. Pass it on. Pass it on. Pass it on. Ernie couldn't wait to tell his family the good news. When he saw Millie standing on the front porch, he ran to her as fast as he could. "Mr. Faulkner is helping me go to Alcorn." Millie threw her arms around him and they danced with joy. But her mind was racing with questions. How will we live apart, so far apart, for so long? Will I be able to raise our daughters all by myself? Even with her worries, Millie laughed as she watched her husband twirling around the porch with their youngest daughter, Gloria Jean. Ernie's face was glowing. "There's more, Millie," he said with a grin. "We're all going to Alcorn, you, me, and our girls." Now it was Millie who couldn't believe her ears. Ernie squeezed her hand and gathered his family around. "We are so blessed. We have each other, we have our faith, and now our dream is finally coming true." That fall, Ernie enrolled at Alcorn A&M College. Now, even after graduating, he and Millie still had to work very, very hard, but they did make a better life for their family. By believing in himself and passionately following his dreams, Ernie created a lifelong ripple effect of learning and generosity, not only in his own family, but in the lives of countless others. And he never forgot his pledge to pass it on. Pass it on. Pass it on. Right now, in our culture and our society, and I'm going to say the world, there's so much misunderstanding, lack of knowledge, hatred, and animosity. And at the same time, more and more and more people are courageous and curious. More and more people are taking responsibility to go after their own learning. They're equipping themselves to cut through the hundreds, I'm going to say the thousands of years of bigotry, hatred, prejudice, horrific and systemic abuse, systemic oppression, and systemic violence to Black, brown, and indigenous peoples all over the planet. Pass It On is a universal story. It's a universal book. And the timing could not be better. This timing is absolutely right for this particular time in our world history, in our global history. Why? Because this story highlights so many different aspects of what we are yearning for. Love, kindness, compassion, generosity. And I'm not talking about financial generosity. What I'm talking about here is generosity of spirit. This book is about all of those things and then some. Most importantly, my dad's story is about the power of the human spirit. My book, Pass It On, says we are meant to be here, not merely for ourselves, but to lift up one another and to link elbows and walk together. It's about seeing into the heart of one another and seeing past superficial differences. In this case, the differences of race and class and age and so much more. It's about really seeing into the wonder, the mysterious beauty, the marvelous human heart, and believing in our common and our shared humanity and divinity. Now, another key lesson in Pass It On is all about the power, and I'm going to say the power and the blessing of dreaming. Not just dreaming small, but dreaming big. This is one of the most important parts of the story. You see, not only is Ernie, the small boy in the book, a dreamer, but so is Mr. Faulkner, right? Which is why he connects with my father. The importance of dreaming is really significant in this book. Also, the power of your own determination, your own hard work. It's about the power of your own faith in yourself and the power of having something that just burns in you so passionately that you just have to go for it. Right? And that's what dreaming, having a vision is all about. Now, another key element of this book is the importance of African American authors writing our own stories through our own voices, right? Not just having stories come through someone else's voice. We've had enough of that already, right? We add to the community's health and wealth when we value African American and other peoples of color, when we value indigenous peoples who are underrepresented in the realm of books and in writing in general. Now that's a whole nother show, right? Okay. Our topic today is anti-racism. 101, 201, 401, 501, wherever you happen to be on your journey. And I just shared a resource that's near and dear to my heart, and that's my book, Pass It On. Now, this book is a valuable tool to get the conversation started. I want you to use it. And if you want to make your life count, if you want to be the change, to be the transformation you seek, remember this. how you live is how you do everything, right? How you live is how you lead. How you live is how you parent. How you live is how you befriend one another. Now, I want you to be sure to do one thing for me and one thing for yourself, and that's be sure to listen to this show again and again and again, and be sure to tell somebody. Now, you can find me right here on iTunes, Alexa, SoundCloud, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Talk Network Radio, and so many other places. If you happen to miss any part of this week's show or last week's, you can simply download the recording and listen to it at your convenience. You can even listen on the go. Check us out. All of these different places: iTunes, Alexa, SoundCloud, Spreaker.com, Talk Network Radio. You can also find me and learn more about my work and Legacy Living Make Your Life Count by visiting my website. That's the Gloria Burgess website. Or you can visit me on LinkedIn or on Facebook. I want to hear from you and I want to connect with you. Before I close today, I want to thank each of you for tuning in to today's show, for allowing me to share a bit about my journey with what legacy living is all about. Not just living and learning, but living and learning and serving, so that you make a difference in your own life and in the lives of others. It's about being on purpose every single day, 365, 24/7. Legacy living is a powerful way to make your life count. Once again, I want to thank you for joining me for today's show. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Burgess, and this is Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. Please join me again next time right here, Talk Network Radio, for another show of Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. Don't just count the days in your life. Make the days in your life count. That's what legacy living is all about. Have a fantastic day, and remember, make the days in your life count. God bless you. That's our show today. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Burgess. I hope you'll join me again next time. Until then, don't just count the days in your life. Make the days in your life count. That's what legacy living is all about. Here's to you. Have a fantastic day, and be sure to make it a yes kind of day. Remember to celebrate the music of your life. Make the days in your life count.